What's up, everybody?
Hello, welcome back to another amazing episode.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very excited about this one.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get started, go ahead, like, subscribe,
Follow.
turn that notification bell on.
Do
I
all
know
that.
you hate to hear it, but this shit is free.
And it helps.
It helps.
Every little bit counts.
We love it.
You know what I'm saying?
And send this video to someone that you love or hate based on whether you like the video or hate it.
Or
So,
somebody that needs to get their fit together, because
You
that's
know?
what today is about.
Yeah. Today we're talking about Bloom's Vogue.
Yeah.
Which, looking at the demographic of the people that watch our content, many of you might have never heard of Bloom's Vogue.
Yeah.
Just like us.
We see the numbers,
I
right?
was -10 when Bloom's Vogue shut down.
Man, I was 3, right?
No, you were. It shut down.
I
You were
was
4.
80
You were 4.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
You were 4. But yeah, let's get into it. Bloom's Vogue. We are actually standing at the Congress Hotel,
Yeah.
which is where it started in 1910. It started out as Bloom's.
Okay. And what was Bloom's?
Well, Bloom's was Harry and Becky Bloom, right?
yeah.
It was a couple. They started out inside the Congress Hotel. There was a ton of movie stars that lived in the hotel, and so they started this.
Checks out.
Yeah, right. A lot of theater people lived here. A lot of theater stars also lived here, and they started out as a boutique. You
Okay.
can come in and you can shop.
Yeah.
And Harry really wanted kind of like a very exclusive experience.
Yeah.
He also was very much into individual style. So he wanted
okay.
women to be able to kind of make the garments their own. So he would bring stuff from Europe, and he would bring like you could shop Chanel, you could shop Dior, but everything was
Right here in Chicago.
customizable.
Right here in Chicago. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And 10 years ago, the Chicago History Museum had a fashion display, and one of them, they showed a wedding dress of like the original, what it looked like,
Oh,
and then
wow.
what a Bloom's custom.
Wait, so 10 years ago, y'all, I didn't do no research. This is all. So I'm hearing this shit for the first time.
Yeah.
So they had a display of the original, not the
Correct.
original, but
No, an original wedding dress, and then the Bloom's Vogue remake of that dress, like how they
Oh.
customized the
Yeah,
neckline, they
yeah.
customized the train.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's
wow.
really, that's really all like what he was about. So when they started here, I mean, it was just a single storefront, and then they quickly grew. But I wanted to start the story here because 1910. They incorporated in 1919, so for 9 years, it was just him and his wife doing their thing.
Yeah.
They dressed all the rich people in
Yeah.
Chicago,
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, I mean, this is where our story starts, and we're gonna kind of like walk to their next bigger location, which has really became their flagship, which is 624 South Michigan, which we'll get
Okay.
to that in a second.
Pretty dope. Another fun fact about this one here, this location in particular. So while Sarah was doing the research, kind of giving me some ideas about what we're talking about today, I put it together in our episode where we were at the Morton Arboretum.
Right.
If you pay attention to that one, we talked briefly about what Joey Morton, he created the Morkroom thing,
Yeah.
and like the
teletype.
the teletype and how they use of a check system.
Right.
We mentioned that one of the first uses ever for it were
Right.
right here in
At
the
the
Congress
Congress
Hotel.
Hotel, yeah.
Now we know
Yeah, that was
what
probably
business it probably was.
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
interesting.
People made reservations using the teletype. They would communicate within the hotel. I'm
Yeah.
sure people would send in orders too, like, clothing orders.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was kind of revolutionary at the
Yeah.
time, and it makes sense that
Makes a lot of
happened
sense.
right here.
A lot of sense. Like, yes. So
Yeah.
very cool tie back.
I've actually never been in the Congress Hotel, so we're gonna go and pop in, maybe throw in some B-roll of what the inside of the hotel looks like, and see if we can find anything that's indicative of the
Yeah.
fact that Bloom's was here. Probably not. And then we'll head to 624 South Michigan
Let's
to see
get
the
it.
flagship.
It's real close too.
Very
So
close.
we'll see you.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we just left the Congress Hotel, which honestly we should have been done an episode on the Congress Hotel.
know.
A lot of history there.
Ton.
But right now we're on our way to Bloom Vogue's first official standalone building and like their flagship store.
Yeah.
And it's only a few paces down, 624. We're at Congress, a little further south, 624. Columbia uses it right now.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like their clothing store.
Yeah, right. Which is good use of it.
Yeah.
So that's where we are headed right now. So
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Let's get it. All right, so like we said, 1919, they incorporated, and then they were starting to grow. They were really starting to blow up. 1920, they bought this building behind us,
Okay.
624 South Michigan. It was actually bought from 624 to 630, so it was
Oh,
a
so they
large,
bought the block.
large building. It was only 7 floors, and they
Okay.
really wanted to turn it into their own thing. So they invested $600,000.
Back then?
And they added another 7 floors.
So this is
Yep. So they
Oh.
added to it. It wasn't
Goodness.
originally that long, that
Okay.
high.
okay.
And it became their thing. So they then had 2 brands. They had Blooms and they had Vogue. Vogue was the custom. You can come in, you can purchase, you can get measured, all of that good stuff. Blooms was ready to wear. You can
Okay.
wear it out of the store and be on your way. And so at this point, they weren't a combined brand. You either went to Blooms or you went to Vogue. Eventually,
So it was like two, like in the same. So you walk through the same door, but you're in two different kind of like.
correct.
Got you.
Two
Okay.
different things. You either go
Okay.
to the fancy,
So it was like
custom.
a mini mall, like a super
Basically,
mini mall.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
at the time there were no real like malls.
Right.
But this was, I mean,
Well, I guess-
14 floors.
I guess you call this was a department store. So that this was one of the earlier
But
department stores. Yeah.
technically 2 stores.
Right.
So that's how it was different. Like
Yeah.
if you went to Marshall Fields, you went to Marshall Fields.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
But
got you.
this one,
Yeah.
you went to either Blooms or you went to Vogue, and they were inside the same building,
Got
which was
you.
kind of a unique experience. And so, yeah, I mean, Harry really wanted to kind of implement the idea that Chicago was a fashion hub.
Right.
And at that time,
See?
he didn't want to just buy product from Europe and kind of put it on the mannequins and you come in and buy it. He really believed that what fit a European style
Yeah.
did not necessarily fit the American woman
Yeah.
style. And so he wanted to give them an experience where they can come in and they can customize what they wanted.
Yeah.
And he wanted to more specifically make Chicago its own hub of unique style. He wanted to make
Wow.
a style for Chicago specifically.
I wonder where that fell off at because like Chicago, look, we've been in it, but like right now we don't have no fashion presence. Coincidentally, we do have Fashion Week. That is
Next
depending on
month.
where you watch this.
In October.
It's a month from us right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he really wanted to kind of show people how important Chicago was, and he was very transparent. He wanted to take people behind the scenes, show where he bought the fabric
materials.
from, where he sourced his materials, where he sourced his labor, all of that stuff. And so he put out a pamphlet, a little booklet
Okay.
of information. And of course, our friends at the Newberry Library got
Yeah.
that booklet.
Yeah, that's why you had me look that up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay.
And that booklet is very important because it really showed what he was doing, and
Got
how
you.
revolutionary Bloom's Vogue was. This was in 1923 that the booklet came out. The brands combined as one in 1930. So we're a
Okay.
few years removed from the combination. But we'll talk about that when we get to the Newberry. Let's head over there and kind of. I actually want to go into this 624 building to see if we.
see if they got anything.
They removed the name Bloom's
Yeah,
Vogue,
and it's just
from-
an empty space right
yeah,
there. That's
from
crazy.
the empty. You
Yeah.
can see where the studs of the stone were.
Yeah.
They took that off. It did say Bloom's Vogue, but
Right.
it was still two separate brands.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to see. if
go
there's anything
inside. Let's go
and then we'll
inside.
head to Newberry. Let's get it.
All right, so we are here at the Newberry Library, and we are waiting for the book that Harry and Becky wrote.
Yep, it's called Within the Portals, and it's basically kind of like their. Well, it was more Harry.
Yeah.
Really, obviously,
Right.
women can't paint.
No. And I said right.
But it was basically the his kind of like in-depth look into how they use textiles and how they kind of like the production and manufacturing of and the custom design of pieces in the 1920s in general, and more of a kind of in-depth look at his Bloom's Vogue situation that was going on, Vogue more specifically.
So we are going to show you some B-roll of that stuff and kind of sum this whole thing up. So pretty cool. We have to come see it, Newberry Library. Love it. So
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
So the company went on, and the 1930s they joined. 1930 they joined. It became Bloom's Vogue.
Okay.
So it became one store as opposed to two. And in 1961, Harry and his wife retired, and in 1966 Harry died.
Oh, that's recent, relatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, in 1983, the last store closed. They had stores almost, all over
Everywhere.
the country, apparently,
Wow. Pretty
according
dope.
to my research. They had 4 stores in Chicago.
It was
All
pop-
4 of them have closed,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Pretty dope.
kind of a quick ending for
Yeah.
them.
It was. Kind of like a quick ending that we got here.
Yeah.
Dope to see. Dope to see the book though. That was really fun.
Yeah, because not only does it talk about Vogue Bloom, it also talks about he compares himself to other manufacturers in the city and in other parts of the world, and so it gives you real good insight as to how things were at the time.
Pretty dope.
Yeah, definitely. If you have time, come check it out. It's you just have to request it
Man,
in the special collection.
4th floor on Newberry Library is where you need to be at.
Yeah,
Promise you that.
I mean, it's a membership here is free, so.
Free. So anyway, on that note,
That's all. If you enjoyed this episode, If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you love. If you watched all the way to the end, leave us a little dress emoji or a little suit emoji so we know that you made it all the way to the end. One day you'll get a present from us for making it to the end.
maybe.
But maybe we'll do a
Debatable.
polar plunge
Maybe.
if we keep getting these emojis.
Yeah. So until then,
We'll see you
time.
next week. Peace.